絶対これじゃないだろ的なもん買ってくるぞ。そこ任せたらダメだろ。1位取り付けんのに。ゴジョー、マジで頼んだぞ福。頑張ってくれ。頑張る。
My Dress Up Darling, My Dress Up Darling. All right, my friends, we have another week of My Dress Up Darling. This was episode number 4 and or episode 16, depending on which way that you are counting the episodes. But, you know, so many times, there are so many episodes of anime where, you know, folks come in and they review, or they're talking about it, or maybe you talked about it, you know, on TikTok or Twitter or whatever, and you're saying like, man, this week felt like a really, really short week. Like, did I watch 5 minutes? And really, that's how I felt about this episode. Like, really, the main thing about the episode was, I think, Gojo getting the support of his class was the biggest W I've seen in My Dress Up Darling in a while. Of course, you know, Gojo and Marin's relationship, you know, increasing and getting closer, and figuring out if is it a friendship or relationship or whatever it is. Outside sources seeing their relationship and kind of confirming that. I think all those things are big W's, right? This episode where Marin was realizing like, hey, Gojo knows my measurements like to the T. Like, he knows me. Like, he knows me. I think that realization, big W. But I think the biggest socialistic big W I've seen in the show is Gojo getting not only like praise from his classmates, but praise, acceptance, recognition, affirmation. Like, that's a big, big win for not only what it'll do to Gojo and Marin's relationship, but then Gojo himself, like his self-esteem, the way that he feels like he fits in, realizing that he's not that different than others, right? Like, he's been ostracized. Well, in his mind, he feels like he's been ostracized because of his, you know, his doll making stuff. But last week, or maybe the week before, but like during the Halloween episode, you know, when he was talking about dolls and, you know, Marin was hyping him up and stuff. Like, everyone was like, oh my God, like, you do, like, oh yeah, I remember going to the museum when I was a kid, and, you know, he got acceptance there. And now it's even more evident because, you know, this week, everyone's like, hey, we have this contest thing going on. And Gojo's gonna go help Marin, and he's gonna do the her cosplay because he's been doing her cosplay, and everyone accepted that. So when Gojo comes to help, you know, the class stuff, that they're like, yo, what are you doing, bro? Like, you know, go help. Like, we want to win. Go help her. Like, you're the guy. And I just thought that was just such a unique thing for the show, but such a big win for a character that I think we're all growing to love in Gojo. And I was like, man, he really needed that. Like, that is the biggest self-esteem boost ever, is acceptance. You know what I mean? And he's not only accepted for being the doll guy, he's not only accepted for being, like, you know, very close to Marin, which is like the most popular girl in the class, but then he's also accepted to be like, oh, he's the guy who does her cosplays. Like, he's her partner, essentially. Like, that's another big deal. So it's like, man, what a big win. But the episode did feel really short because, like, the end of the episode, they go and they shop for all the materials for her cosplay. And we have the, you know, the announcement of the contest, and that it's like a cross-dressing contest. Boys are girls, girls are boys in the class, and they really want to win. And her cosplay is going to be based on a student council host guy or something like that. And I think the reason that the episode felt so short is they spend when it came back from break, they spend minute like 6.5 all the way to 15. So they spent like basically, what is that? Like 9 minutes of content just showing us the show within the show. And I think that's why it felt so short. It's like, you know, this could have been reduced down to them just telling us what the show's about. But instead, they kind of showed us a minor episode, or like they kind of showed us snippets of an episode of the show she's going to cosplay. And then Gojo's reaction to it, which I thought was just adorable. So overall, another like 10 out of 10, a big win. We learned more about her cosplay, more about what she's going to do, more about the acceptance of the show and knowing that her whole class watches the show. And then Gojo's acceptance, you know, in the class. And then finally ending with, okay, now we're going to go and actually make this cosplay a cosplay. Fantastic show. So there's nothing else I wanted more of this episode. My Dress Up Darling, big W, big win. Another fantastic episode. Really love just seeing their growth as characters, and yeah, can't wait to see how the play plays out, and or the contest plays out. Can't wait to see her cosplay, and yeah, I can't wait to see what's next. So, anyways, huge episode, big episode, huge, big, but fantastic. Really like 10 out of 10. Really entertaining, and I felt like it was over in a blink of an eye. So yeah, I'll see you guys next week for episode number 17 and or episode 5 of season 2. Peace out, my friends. See you next week.